whatever reason you are here with. As for my jewels, I can tell you they are so focused and I know they will succeed. And I want to see the overall best coming from you. And I know these ones are going to be your blessing tomorrow. Thank you very much and God bless all of us.
Baba newspaper review segment our morning break jumedie sumedine ama Akosomo na ne de minimi nuaba aba Agyeiwaa akode ene de newspaper review segment na newspaper pensi mu no de bremo na aba na ma wakwa aba no pay ejoso na me ka we say nyumeku aso yasene global sky security. Global sky is someone is always watching and Leonard Holmes na me san ka we say following we various social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, MHTV, YouTube, and Twitter, so no Marveling House Limited. Ene, Tuesday.
Safa pepe enebna. July boso me da ito so edunu watche. Afimpi no ni edunu. Yenye grade you no watche di holiday na ratrese.
August na ni evrem.
July boso me no akọ. Anofensema ubia akọ abade aba MATV morning break jumedie na mukusu he sesi ofa yedru so de ubo krata mpense mu na so abribia ansa na ebekọ de ubo krata mu boso no yede the mindset of the wise no ebremu de etosu num no na me adaroma de akogu mi gidi se wesua bebre na efiri mu odi tu kotodwom na aka boso se gba de bia obekọ bia wo de bebo bra de akobani yento aso the mindset of the wise no de etosu insia no eno na ye hya ase de amamo akopem se de etosu insia no so ye de ebeba wiye na chese ye to aso economy. The mindset of the wise, he discovers that the wise quickly accepts his failures, his faults, his shortcomings, his weakness, his strength, whilst the foolish will justify his errors, find a reason or an excuse why they failed, blame others for their failures other than themselves, repeat the same cause of their failures. Have a good morning. Inti we ye fan baako awo ho. Or say the mindset of the wise, no way you're wise, no you're the foolish one. He discovers that the wise quickly accepts his failures. So when Tiabane say the wise na wono no sisi a wo hu baby a wato chema enema enkoyie had the weakness. I have to work on my weakness. This is my strength. Mahoden wo ho. Nti ese me koso a eye ni yie. Matochi ma kwan be na me fa so a me de betoto niema a ebetumi aiden esisi su yie. Ban say the wise na we ene niema o pentem here. Now so Bani said the foolish person now he justified his errors, find a reason or an excuse why they failed. Oh, Agyeiwaa went in a meant to me and you, went in a meant to me and you, and then the mindset of the wise, he blame others for their failures and than themselves, into other than themselves. Why are they now? Best oh, I do with the me am from so no pay video share. Ah, Akosomo ka say me way, Father Dexter ka say me father name my way, so abibiano, ye pe will be at the young form so and as near my ye ya uncle ye no. Ede ahyɛ wɔn nti wei ne the mindset of the wise ama kakra wɔ ɛka fa ho.
Na mindset no mehwɛ na mehu words na epiepie mu na mo ne sɛ ne na wiase mu ha de bebree na de sɛbe dimie ne kakra wɔ sɛ mehu sɛ oyɛ bɔne a ɔde hyɛ obi deɛ na aba aka yɛ kakra ahem sɛ asɛ wiase obi ayɛ bi
Bribe go school we esua ne ebe SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis no.
That's
strength, weakness, opportunity.
Sister, we be in some so.
Akabako.
Ma akono na aka.
It is SWOT analysis no. E weakness no. Na nea enkoyie wo ho no. Utum say had the me bomb home modern kakra. Nti na afin so behwe was strength. We dear me ya de me cost widen esipem na bibia etumi ekoso ede ema me. Na afi opportunity eba ne say wo opportunity ekwan bibie ma wa always take an fasa akonya fanya bibi papa bi efimu. Ti no eye threat. Your threat most Akosomo boni team kwa fe na tebe threat no ne you can say we a threat the mom kwan be na obefa so a the person wouldn't be a threat to you nti abribia na ese won so obon ho modern. If the person is a threat to you then na oya is so extraordinary. Say you try to do it and you then be overcoming into the SWOT analysis na no pay me the mom your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. These are the 4 things Abibia you have to discover in your life to move on to be a successful person. And pay and share and call and Mr. Confidence or no and or the Agyeiwaa and mammy and the to be good to gym about Pemsa and Pempensui or train media marketing OGA schools.
Near the mindset of the wise no akoguni ebehwe nsɛm a ɛde ehim ɛwɔ yɛn double kratom. Near far front page of the daily graphic. You heard the front page of the daily graphic. Your president inaugurates water project for Yape. Our page 24 and at 25. NDC join NDC to rebuild Ghana. Professor Opoku-Agyeman will page 16. 2020 general elections. Aspirants to file online. EC and no our front page near Twaso our page 3. Debate over witches camps heightened. 4 more exits in northern and northeast and also our page 20. Book of condolence open for Doris Dati our page 16. Ewe ani ahwe nsɛm nso so a edi ehim ɛwɔ Ghanaian Times the Rebel Krataa. You heard the front page of Ghanaian Times say our northern region benefits from nationwide disinfection exercise our page 14. COVID-19 Ghana's active case count drops from 3,349 to 3,307. Confirmed cases hit over 32,000 and also our page 13. President begins 3-day working visits to northern regions our page 12. Ongoing voter registration exercise. EC registers over 12 million in 4 weeks and also no our page 12. We are near here some PM our daily guide newspaper daily guide newspaper your Northern Regional Minister bemoans COVID-19 breaches our page 3. Mona dodges contempt papers and also page 3. AG opposes Dom-level leave injunction and also page 3 where 14 million euros Airbus scandal. Mahama brothers snaps Amidu and Wabesha our front page near Kwakubi our page 3 ho. Near Shasi any muna Yabesha any daily guide newspaper no a daily graphic.
Akosomo no pay.
Daily graphic.
Breakfast.
Minya bi anopaintia.
Who say enka ne no credit? Akosia, on fa graphic no wo home pa ma.
Ni na graphic.
Ghanaian time. It's where daily graphic.
Yeah, shall the daily graphic newspaper and almost stories no almost shall say front page. Na akwa PM page 3. 2020 general elections, aspirants to file online, EC. For the first time in the country's electoral history, aspirants in the year's presidential and parliamentary elections will not physically pick nomination forms from the offices of the Electoral Commission because the Commission has decided to open the filing of nominations using its online portal. The chairperson of the EC, Mrs. Jean Mensah, who announced this at the Let the Citizens Know series held in Accra yesterday, said the move was part of the safety protocols for curbing the spread of the coronavirus disease. The nomination forms will be made available on our website, and so candidates no longer have to come to pick their forms at our offices before filing. They simply have to visit our website and download them. Additionally, she said the guidelines for nomination will be available on the EC's website for political parties and candidates to access. She did not state when nominations would open, except say that we will communicate the official dates for the filing of the nominations shortly.
Yensha ensem na si enfi the daily graphic wakrata no ensem ni nyina ehya ase edifi the front page no moto aso wo the wakrata ni fa etoso miensa na ahwemu dia front page no ma meje mensa abato commission jom training na mfuni eda ha se e de hwese no wa we ama na space na ni ma san trese covid-19 wo boni ho ban papa yesi yankata ye ho yankata ya no yankata ye ni nti na de wuni face shield ni bia wo hya wo mask an trese wa we wi ama wo spectacles face shield ne kurempo bia na wo na mpese obesu dia wo we ma spectacles na wo hya wo nose mask na trese wo sia ne sanenom na ode nsem matu bia wo trese wo bepiem wo abato komisa wo makache de nhihye bibiri na wo mo de egu akwam eba ne se December busumi afimpinu ene aduonu abato a ebekoso ne de ne se wo ya aspirant na se wo pese wo file de no ane se online abe fontentan fidie so se ne maka me se bia ya abe fontentan fidie so aha nti wo pe forms bia no ane se wo bedi omachi isi omo isi eba ne se omo abe fontentan fidie so a wo benya bi na won so wotumi e de agirem se yento wo so abane ade nti no nsem ene ode ba betu dia wo santo aso a ensem na ebe wie no James new voters registration na ekoso amanfo na ede ahokeka bebre na na ehiem na no kwesi ade ya no July boso ne de toso adunu sia wa fimpinu ene adunu ebra de jocho na ekoso na wo mo hwe nipa dodo a wo mo etumi ahwom na chese nipa opepedu mienu 2 million na akwakochuru mudin chese wo mo so afimpinu ne adunu December boso ne da etoso enso no ombechro mo pobre apa opani ya wo mo pese odi o manyi so.
Yeah, twaso our page 5 inside Africa. COVID-19. Zambian MP with HIV test positive. Zambian MP Princess Kasuni Zulu, who is living with HIV is a prominent AIDS activist, has announced that she has tested positive for COVID-19. Ms. Zulu, a member of the opposition United Party for National Development, was tested last Thursday. Some 15 Zambian MPs have so far tested positive for COVID-19, according to the health minister. Parliamentary sittings have been indefinitely suspended in Zambia. Ms. Zulu told the BBC that she was not surprised by the test results, partly because Zambia's parliament had initially continued holding sittings despite the rise in coronavirus numbers. I guess one saw it coming given the laissez-faire attitude we have in Zambia towards the health guidelines, and seeing that at Parliament we had continued meeting in person when we should have carried on business from our homes via virtual systems.
The Democrat any fa etosu enum no COVID-19 yare man no so just Zambia kwanyan e bi ekopie mu e wo honom na mrahye bedwani ba ko wo honom a ono e ban se HIV a moa wani bi ewo ni mogem Princess Zulu e de ntama tudwa wo kyerese bra COVID-19 no wo mkoye ne test a wo hu se moa wani bi ewo ni mogem no anya no nwanwa kora se anhye da anya no nwanwa se no nim se ebetumi esi se bra covid-19 yi edi ehim a amahoro na bebre no ukopiem wo momra hye bedwafi a atenaye de wo mu nkobi no zabia de na wo mu nti se odogo bi kura enu aba abiri bia na de ye kwatenaye ye koyese ye kwahye mra na de obete naturally amanfo boje so ye nunu eno no ho ensem nti o kirem bia na etwa se covid-19 ya ready wo betumi enye bi nti on de ebra wonyan no anye no wa sambre ene mra ka ese wo mutumi de nhihye egu akwan na eba ne se atenaye a wo betumi awo mo fiefie na aba efontenten fidia na roma wo mo etumi aye nhyiemu anase atenaye bi a wo pesom ye no wo mo etumi aye na ehu hia se enkabre bia wo betutu anamo akwakopiem wo mrahye bidwefie ansana wo mo eduru mujuma.
Yes, was no the editorial our page 7. Let's leverage COVID-19 to diversify our economy. Last Thursday, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, presented the mid-year review of the government's 2020 budget and economic policy. He gave an update picture of the economic impact of the coronavirus disease on the economy and measures being taken to mitigate the impact of the budgetary adjustments that required to implement the measures. The Daily Graphic hopes that interventions outlined in the budget review, including the enhanced support to small and medium enterprises, will help boost growth in the beneficiary businesses and create a strong manufacturing base for future growth. Already, the strong demand for locally produced goods and information technology, products and services have made the manufacturing sector and the technological and digital economy area key areas to watch when it comes to emerging opportunities in the midst of the pandemic. This presents a fine opportunity for the government to easily capitalize on these developments through strategic and targeted investments to help bolster them and enhance their growth and contributions to gross domestic product. It is a fact that a more diverse economy can help reduce economic volatility from commodity cycles and offer new opportunities for more people to benefit from strong economic growth. A more diversified economy means that it is immunized against the dreadful Dutch disease. Economic diversification is inextricably linked with economic development and poverty reduction, and success will be crucial for our dear nation as we seek to increase the number and quality of jobs in the face of a rapidly rising and youthful working population. We need a diversified economy that can create more and better jobs.
Osemufo no adwenkyira na se na adwenfo wo Daily Graphic wakrata ni fa etoso enso no wo mu kirem bia na no ya wada no osoafo a ohwe yesi kasem so owura Ken Ofori-Atta de omayi yakon mes kasem no afe no enchemu ne de no wode ba ebeto Ghana fo nyina anim ema obie ehu se ne yesi kasem no wo mo etoto no oman mu efa ne no eno kirem se covid-19 de mu kra se ne ede wo haw aba beto ye na kon masikasem no eso no eno semufo ekire na adwen na o kire se ba ne se small and medium enterprises na ho behia pan se abribia na ye betre yensa ewom so se na ebe ye no mo so dwumedie betumi akoso tote so dwumedie etumi ekosi ya eboa ema oman Ghana yesikasem entutue etumi efa ne ntoma pa efra sanso ena ebetumi aboa ye mo de pa emoa se mebunu ebetumi enya adwuma ye na ni nyina ekoba nsa amanfo na bebre enya adwuma ye ntitu ne nsa no adwuma ne ade a eboa ema yesikasem tutue nyina etumi ejina ne na so mapanti ye mo de na ye miebi adwuma na omanfo enya bi enye.
Here, page 13. 9 receives Samira Bawumia Literature Prize. The second lady, Mrs. Samira Bawumia, has awarded 9 young Ghanaian writers who emerged winners in the maiden Samira Bawumia Literature Prize at a ceremony in Accra yesterday. The Samira Bawumia Literature Prize is an annual literary prize initiative set up by the second lady to empower young writers to share their opinion and thought through writing. Launched in April this year, the initiative is also to encourage the habit of reading and writing in young people. The awardees emerged winners in 3 categories: short fiction, non-fiction, and poetry. Winners for the first place in each category received a cash amount of 5,000 Ghana cedis, a certificate of participation, books from Ghanaian writer Manasseh Azure Awini, and a laptop, while those in second and third positions received 3,000 and 2,000 Ghana cedis respectively, a certificate of participation, and books from Ghanaian writer Manasseh Azuri Awene. The Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, who was at the event, reiterated the importance of writing and called on stakeholders to focus on training young people to write on critical issues that would improve the country's development. He expressed the hope that the initiative would be recognized not only in the country but globally. A prolific writer, Uncle Lebo White, who was also at the event, commended Mrs. Baumia for the initiative and noted that the initiative was crucial in nurturing the next generation. He said writing had presented many opportunities in his career and advised the youth to put down their thoughts in writing. A Ghanaian musician, Ochame Kwame, in a performance also urged young people to cultivate the habit of reading and writing, noting that writing had improved his creativity in the music industry.
Daily Graphic krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so dumiɛnsa no dumiɛnsa no wei second lady Mrs. Samira Baumia ɛyɛ ade a wabɔ mmabunu bi akwa so yie papaapa Ghanafo ɛba ne sɛ wɔn ntwerɛ articles ne ade a wɔde kyerɛ competition esi hɔ ɛde ma wɔn ma wɔn de ahokeka ne ade ɛyɛ ɛpa na ɛbɛrɛ a ɛba awie na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn paw nipa mmiɛnsa a wɔn ɛbɔ wɔn ho mmɔden yie papaapa. Na ɛbɛrɛ a wɔn ɛkɔhyia mu na wɔn bɔ wɔn aba so no nea wodi nkunim no no onya 5,000 Ghana cedis na afei nso certificate a ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔn nso wodi dwuma bi na afei nso nwoma ahorow a Ghanaian writer Manasseh Azuri Awuni ɛtwerɛeɛ na afei nso laptop ɛsan ɛpɛɛ so deɛ ɔtɔɔ so mmienu no nya 3,000 Ghana cedis na afei certificate bi na books nso bi saa nso na deɛ ɔtɔɔ so mmiɛnsa no nya 2,000 Ghana cedis certificate ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔde ne ho ɛhyɛ dwumadie no na afei nso nwoma a obetumi akenkan na wɔn de wɔn ho ɛhyɛ mu no na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn mfie no efi mfie dunum ɛde kɔ mfie aduonu enum na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn keka nsɛm bɔ mu ɛde 3,000 words na wɔn de ɛtwerɛ articles ne adeɛ no ɛnam so ne yɛhwɛ mu a weedie kose ɛne yɛde ɛpa wɔn dwumadie no so na dwumadie no ase no ɔsoafo ɔhɛ yɛn adesua nsɛm so abɛde akyerɛ Dr. Yao ɛwɔ sɛ edutum ɛkɔpie mu hɔ a wɔkyerɛ sɛ saa de wedeɛ ɛyɛ ade papa yie papapa ntɛnti no mmabunu nkɔso afɔ ɔmo adwe nkɔso na sɛ biribi sɛ ɛkɔso a wɔn mfa wɔn ho nhyɛ mu saa nso ɛna Uncle Ebo White nso ɛkɔpie mu hɔ nom bi ɔno nso ɛhyɛ wɔn sɛ saa de wedeɛ ɛyɛ ade papapa nti ɔbɔɔ owura Yereba Baumia aba so ɛwɔ ne nhyehyɛ anase ne suade ho a wɔde ɛboa ɛyɛ nkyirima no nti wei ɛne deɛ ɛkɔɔ so ɛwɔ hɔ na ne nyinaa mu no nso Ghana nnwontoni baako Ɔkyeame Kwame nso ɛkɔpie mu hɔ nom a wɔde kyerɛ sɛ nnwomtoɔ ne ade ɛhyɛ mu ma bibia ɛkɔɔ so hɔ nom kamakama.
Page 16 of the Daily Graphic. Join NDC to rebuild Ghana, Professor Opoku Agyeman. The running mate of the National Democratic Congress for the 2020 general elections, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman, made a rallying call to Ghanaians to turn to the NDC to help build a country with equal opportunities for everyone. I extend a hand to everyone, no matter how disappointed you have become, no matter how the depth of your frustration, your anger, your despair. Come, let's chart a path for our country built on the values and of integrity, merit, trust, responsible citizenship, caring, putting others first, simple, polite language, she said. In an address after she was officially introduced as the running mate by former President John Dramani Mahama in Accra, Professor Opoku Agyeman appealed to Ghanaians to come and join the NDC to rebuild the country's institutions and an inclusive nation that was not afraid of respect for divergent views. Come, men, women, our youth, our children, together let's build the Ghana we can have, which must belong to all of us and which must pay special working and workable attention to the vulnerable. The NDC running mate said it was time the proverbial Ghanaian hospitality that seemed locked down, if not quarantined, was brought back, stressing that we must ease restrictions on the Ghana we know that respects, tolerates, liberates. Professor Opoku Agyeman said Ghana must be in full flight towards sustainable development to a destination of peace, inclusive, self-confidence, plain honesty, and where good old hard work mattered. Professor Opoku Agyeiwaa said she accepted the nomination because it was an opportunity to serve Ghana once again, albeit at a higher level. I am deeply humbled by the trust of our party and nation, and I am excited to make the case of the good people of Ghana as to why the J&J ticket is poised to confront the daunting challenges of our time and usher Ghana into recovery and prosperity, Opoku Agyeiwaa stated. She said it would be her mission to ensure that the voices and concerns of children, the youth, and aged are heard.
Da ubokrata ne fa etosu dunsi ano wo hwe krata no di a fankatuni de ma NDC amanyoko no owura John Dramani Mahamani foni da ha se ya waso Professor Nana Opoku Agyeiwaa ensa kire se enra na dwumadie ekọ so a woyin a kire se ne running mate na kire se wo ba ebeye Ghana mampani wa afempinu ene adumu abato ebekoso no de anches na be de akire ebeye Professor Nana Opoku Agyeiwaa ebra wo dan no edi ewiye no na Professor Nana Opoku Agyeiwaa edi ensem to dwa wo kire se wo so mu twitwe kire se waje atumye papa ese Ghana fo enya ne mugidie aha ndisi amanyoko no wo manya ne mugidie na o mama ne sa opportunity wenti wono so wo bobo ne homodin ye papa no waye nea ese efata ebeboa wo man Ghana ni nyina nti amafo na emua na NDC wo mani su ade hunu entumi mbremu na chese se ne omo pese wo mototo o man yi kama eba ne se yisika sem ye die hu nsem a wo mo etumi aye ni nyina no na Nana Opoku Agyeiwaa Professor eto anesem so no chese soba ebe ye chese abedi etira NDC amanyoko ne nkunimde ekọ ede mo omode a wono no obehwe se eba ne se mofra emaburu na impo wona won anwiye na wo mu nyina wo mo bete wo mo ne na wo metie wo mu sofre.
Yet so page 18, ongoing voter registration exercise. EC registers over 12 million. More than 12 million Ghanaians have so far registered in the ongoing mass voter registration exercise. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Jean Mensah, who made this known, said that 12,371,651 persons have been registered across the country as of Sunday, July 26, 2020, a figure she said gave inspiration that the Commission would meet its 15 million target. We have deployed 8,530 biometric registration kits, and they are working efficiently. Our officers are working round the clock efficiently and professionally to ensure that high numbers are registered on a daily basis, and we have a good number of mobile registration teams who go around the areas where we have higher concentration of people. The key thing now is for eligible citizens to make themselves available, and our process will ensure that they are registered.
The Obokrata ne fa etosu dun wotwe no Mami Jean Mensah ni foni eda ha se wono oye abato commiserates dwemtre na ne se na ne se bante edintrotro ye kwakotro edi amanfo twe ne srani abasa ha ye ntro mamo nkotro se nyande a won di voter ID card dan ka ho edi dwuma ne no na dwumedi ne course aye hwe a face 1 akogu panyan face 2 nso akogu panyan chese amanfo na ede wo ho ehye metrotum ni face 3 nso eba ewiye eno no to se face 4 yi ewiye no na no kwesi ada na chese wo hwe ahokeka amanfo ede astrom din de omobro eye opepi du ba ko na chese ombro 11 million Ghana fo wo abom homodin ye papa atwuru mu ni se ne ebeye na chese bibia ebetumi akoso ye no na o chese wo hwe ma chese wo mukọ ekotwuru mu din a ban se wo ha enchemu di a ha enchemu edunum mienu 52%. Afenso emema na fam ne de 48%. O ha enchemu eduanan wotwe na ombode ahokeka ekotwuru mu di no na o kirem se ban se registration ne di a wodi breakdown ni nyina eba ya mantem ahoro wona wo mukọ ekotwuru mu di Asanso to aso kirem se eba ne se abato commission wo mo akachi anase wo mo office ono mo de wo mo amakwan se wona won enyi eburu mfie dunum ekọ a woni ahode ne ade nyina wo mbetumi akọ makachi no mo so wo mo akọ akotwuru wo mu din wo se ne be no mbenya akonya ato aba.
For page 19 of the Daily Graphic, we're determined to win elections, NDC. The National Democratic Congress has distributed 36 motorbikes and 18 laptops to the 18 constituencies in the Volta region. Each constituency received 2 motorbikes and a laptop to undertake electioneering towards the December 7, 2020 elections. At the presentation ceremony at the Volta Regional Secretariat of the party, the Volta Regional Secretary of the NDC, Mr. James Gunn, expressed the determination of the party to win this year's general election. We are going to use the motorbikes and the laptops to make sure that we get the people onto the register and also make sure we get them out to register. We are determined to take over the rule of this country. As part of efforts to secure victory in the 2020 elections, Mr. Gunn said the party had established a new IT directorate which would run in tandem with the party's election directorate at the national level. The Volta Regional Chairman of the NDC, Mr. Henry Amatefe, admonished the beneficiaries to use the new motorcycles for their prescribed purpose of facilitating the party's work to the grassroots. He cautioned party organizers to desist from reckless riding and observe all road safety regulations to prevent road clashes. The Secretary of the host Central Constituency, Mr. Isaac Kodobisa, expressed gratitude to the flag bearer of the NDC, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, for fulfilling his promise of providing every constituency with motorbikes and pleaded that the motorbikes and laptops would be put to their intended use.
Daily graphic krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so dunkron no NDC amanyɔkuo no wɔn de nsɛm ato dwa wɔn kyerɛ sɛ wɔn ayɛ krado paasa afimfini ne ɛde December bosom yi abato a ɛbɛkɔ so no nkunimdie ɛbɛkɔ de ama wɔn na NDC amanyɔkuo no ɛkɔpiem wɔ Fraumantam no ɛban sɛ motorbikes a 36 ɛna afei nso laptops duwɔtwe 18 ɛna wɔn kɔkyekyɛ de ma 18 constituencies ɛno no mpɛsoa so bia enya motorbikes mmienu ɛna afei nso laptop baako a wɔn de ebedi wɔn dwuma ɛwɔ hɔ nom ansa na afimpi no ɛne aduonu December bosom ne da ɛtɔ so nso abatoɔ no aba so na ɛbɛrɛ a wɔde ɛkɔ maa wɔn no ɛna kyerɛ sɛ mpanimfoɔ a ɛwɔ hɔ nom ɛyɛ regional Volta regional chairman ɛde ma NDC amanyɔkuo Dr. Henry Ametefe ɛde nsɛm to dwa wɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔn nsa aka deɛ nanso no ɛba ne sɛ wɔn dwuma a wɔn mfa di dwuma sɛnea ɛsɛ ɛfata afei nso no wɔn hwɛ wɔn kwan so yɛ papaapa ɛnyɛ sɛ wɔn nsa aka moto ne nti ɛde ɛyɛ ni na hwihwi ɛba ne sɛ road signs na wɔn ani so sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na ɛnkɔfa akwanhyia biara ɛmfa ɛmbrɛw saa nso ɛna secretary ɛwɔ Ho Central Constituency owura Isaac Kodobisa nso ɛda mampani anaasɛ frankatumi ɛde ma NDC amanyɔkuo no owura John Dramani Mahama asɛ sɛ wɔhyɛ bɔ a odi soɔ na wɔde motorbikes abrɛ wɔn ɛna afei so laptops sɛnea wɔka no pɛpɛɛpɛ.
Yɛtoa so ɛwɔ page 20 debate over witches camp heightens. 4 more exist in northern and northeast. The debate over the disbanding of witches camps in Ghana and the integrating the women into their communities has been reignited following the gruesome killing of a 90-year-old over accusation of being a witch. In recent times, many groups and individuals, including women activists and human rights organizations, have described the practice, which dates several decades back, as dehumanizing and unacceptable. Yet, some of the inmates of the camps see them as safe havens, since to them, returning to their communities where they were accused of being witches will sound like a new for them. Last year, the Nabuli Witches Camp in the Gushegu municipality in the northern region was closed down, while in 2014, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, in collaboration with some women and children's rights organizations, closed down the Bonyansi Witches Camp in the central Gonja district in the then northern region, now the Savannah region. In spite of the closure of some of the camps, the remaining continue to receive more women accused of witchcraft. Checks by the Daily Graphic reveal that about 200 alleged witches with their children and grandchildren are currently in 4 witches camps in the northern and the northeast regions. They are the Patinga camp in the Gushegu municipality, the Nani camp in the Yendi municipality, and the Kuko camp in the Nanumba South district, all in the northern region, and the Gambaga camp, considered to be the oldest, in the East Mamprusi municipality in the northeast region.
Abɛɛfo ku.
Yesi omo mukuru ama omo nti mukọ a munkọtena na munyere wo ho. Ye ma wo meyere wo fie. Ntimi nyere wo fie sa.
Akafo we for more.
For more.
Ewo northern. Na northeast.
Akafo.
Kana. Krataa ni nsɛm a wɔde baeɛ wɔ ne fa a ɛtɔ so aduonu no. Daily graphic for kyerɛ mu de a kamea yi sɛ wɔn atotototo kopiem wɔ north ne north east na abayifoɔ yɛbɛka sɛ wɔn camp no wɔn atutututu bebree mu a wɔn closing it down ɛno na mpo na yɛasɔre a ɛhwɛ mmofra mmaa ne mmarima yiedie nsɛm soɔ ɛde wɔn ntoma pam ɛyɛ amanfoɔ binom ɛyɛ children's rights organization for ɛde anom ma wɔn gugu ɛyɛ camps bi nanso camps nan na egu so edi dwuma ne nyinaa no ntwa yie ne ɛhwɛ sɛ nea mpo maame a ɔwɔ mfie aduɔkron amanfo esifa ebirim no sɛ sɛbi wɔdare ɔka ho na kuro no ntu mpa saa nneɛma wɔ nyinaa ntwa yie nti ɛsɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ yɛde yɛn nan esi fam ne yɛka ho nsɛm.
Yɛtoa so ɛwɔ page 23. Winneba High Court annuls University of Education Winneba Pro-Vice Chancellor election. The Winneba High Court has annulled the election of Professor Andiofuri Brikwine as Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Education Winneba. Professor Ofuri Brikwine, who was the then Dean of the Faculty of Foreign Languages Education and Communications, was elected on November 21, 2019 as the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the UEW. The university organized the election after the Winneba High Court on November 18, 2019 dismissed a suit filed by Dr. Frimpong Duku, a senior lecturer and former president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UEW chapter, who challenged the matter in court. The court, presided over by Justice Abuaji Tando yesterday, ruled that the Vice-Chancellor, Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni, did not have the right per the statuses of the university to nominate only 3 preferred individuals to contest in the election, thereby restricting it to be chosen few. Again, the court quashed the November 2019 election, which gave the green light for the election of Professor Ofuri Brikwine as the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the UEW, as the earlier election had been declared null and void. The court further ordered the management of UEW to rerun the election to elect a new Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university.
Na kyerɛ we the Obokrata ni fa ɛtɔ so aduonu mmiɛnsa no Winneba High Court na wɔn kɔ atenaeɛ ne nyinaa ɛfa abatoɔ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ University of Education Winneba UEW suapɔn no mu hɔnom na no ɛna Professor Andy Ofori ɔno ɛna na kyerɛ sɛ wɔgyina sɛ Pro-Vice Chancellor ɛde ama suapɔn no na nsɛm yi wɔn atwe ne srɛ ne abasasa efi November bosome no ne da ɛtɔ so aduonu baako ɛwɔ afempinu ani dunkrum na kyerɛ sɛ afi a etwa muo no mu ɛna wɔn ɛkasa nsɛm yi ho sɛm ɛno no korampo Dr. Frimpong Kakyire Duku ɛde ɔno wɔyɛ senior lecturer ɔka sɛ saa nsɛm wɔ deɛ ɛwɔ nte aseɛ nti no okukuru ɛde ekopie ma ɛno no na former president ɛde ma University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG UEW wɔn ɛka ho na kyerɛ sɛ saa nsɛm mu kopie mu ɛwɔ court sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ na wɔn ɛbɛka ɛho nsɛm na ɛbɛda court ɛtena ase na kyerɛ sɛ Justice Abuaji Tando wɔ no ɛna ɔtena nsɛm ne so ɛnrada ɛwɔ court na ɛbɛda wɔtena nsɛm so na ɔkyerɛ sɛ Vice Chancellor Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni wɔni akwanya sɛ nka wotumi ɛpa onipa mmiɛnsa kyerɛ sɛ nipa kakra bi sɛ wɔn pɛ ɛna wɔn ɛbɛto wɔn so abɛnti ɛno ade wɔn kɔ court ɛkɔkɔka nsɛm bi nyinaa ho ɛsɛm.
So ɛwɔ page 24 and 25 of the Daily Graphic. President inaugurates water project for Yape, fulfills campaign promise. President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has inaugurated the Yape Small Towns Water Supply System in the Central Gonja District in the Savannah region, in fulfillment of a campaign promise he made to the people of Yape in a run-up of the 2016 elections. According to the president, the project, which was constructed at a cost of 5.66 million Ghana cedis, will serve about 18,149 people in the area. The water system, which is under the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, was funded by the World Bank as part of an additional financing sustainable rural water and sanitation project. Beneficiary communities are Fufukso, Nyangripe, Ntreso, Yipala, and Yape, all in the central Gonja district. A total of 28 standpipes have been provided, and the project forms part of the Sustainable Rural Water and Sanitation Project, which started in 2017 with $47.5 million credit facility from the World Bank. Apart from the Savannah region, the projects have been implemented in the 10 other regions, namely Ahafo, Bono, Bono East, Central, Western, Western North, Northern, Northeast, Upper West, and Upper East. Its components include the construction of piped water supply systems, household latrines, health and hygiene education, and environmental social safeguards. The Chief Executive Officer of the CWSA, Mr. Walanyo Kojo Saibi, said the project had been fitted with a solar system to reduce costs associated with pumping water, and the pipelines had also been laid to enable residents to connect water to their homes. For his part, the country director of the World Bank, Mr. Pierre-Frank Laporte, said the Multilateral Development Bank was happy to be associated with the water project for the provision of clean water for the people. The Yaping Ruler expressed appreciation to the president for fulfilling his promise. He pledged to ensure the regular maintenance of the system for uninterrupted power and water supply.
Mental cell the worker any far a tosso a juno and nine any a juno in momentum on not the middle of the daily graphic newspaper na and some are a bit monte. Ghana man penny na adodan kwa ekufuado. Water project I would isi in minister say or beye ya pino. Bibia etumi akoso kama hon menonom was central Kunja district was Savannah Mantem Timampeni nebo a washende wadi so the amount kam no award 5.66 million Ghana cedis and award a share say award airboa amount for 18,149 send a na wom so ban say in susem ade a ebetumi akoye de amawom na eno no wo kirem dia sika na wom edi shem na boapam amachete 28 standpipes na wom nsa aka wo mpotem ho na project no wom hyase wa fipinum ani do nso ma 2017 no wom de 47.5 million credit facility a wom nsa ekafi World Bank no wom de hyase na yeyi Savannah mantem efi on ma mantem awro bebre so na wom nsa ekebie no Ahafo Bono Bono East Central na afen so atoye mantem Upper West and Upper East mantem nyina yade a wom nso wom nsa ekebi.
Near Twaswo, page 28, murder of Agyeiwaa Dente. First Lady commiserates with family, while DV coalition call on police to expedite action. The First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, has sent a delegation to commiserate with the present to present some items to the family of Madam Agyeiwaa Dente, who was tragically lynched at Kafaba in the Savannah region of Ghana. The lynching of the 90-year-old Madam Agyeiwaa Dente is simply abhorrent. It is tragic that in this day and age, Ghanaians, especially women, continue to suffer such barbaric and human rights violation that undermines our quest for gender equality, the First Lady lamented. The First Lady expressed her appreciation for the many statements of condemnation, saying, "I am encouraged by the various statements of condemnation by many well-meaning Ghanaians and groups. While the statements are commendable, we must take all necessary steps to bring justice to the family and completely abolish such negative, abusive, and violent practices against women in particular. I will continue to work with interest groups to empower women and girls in various ways, including education and skill acquisition, as a means of insulating them from such barbaric practices." The family of Madame Dente expressed their appreciation to the First Lady and thanked the many Ghanaians who have expressed their sympathy and support for the family.
Yento aso ewo daily graphic wakata ne fa etoso aduonu ensia gender emma ne emofra yidi na nsema eba ebeku ekratem se First Lady Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo Ghana mampani adogagai wonu ankasa ne twetwe yehwe ema eniema bi sei ekoso enyade a ebeboa practice wakeka violence act no 2007 act 732 na wɔkyerɛ sɛ saa nneɛma wei nyinaa etia yɛmmra pon no bi ɛnsɛ sɛ yɛsosɔ nneɛma bi sɛ yɛsu nti ɔmbɛhwɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo de nneɛma yie ato yɛ ne yɛde ɔmo afa mmra kwan so.
Near Twaso page 33. Court dismisses Bank of Ghana's application against Agyeiwaa. The Commercial Division of the Accra High Court has given the green light for the founder of the defunct Capital Bank, William Agyeiwaa, to challenge the revocation of the bank's operating license by the Bank of Ghana. It was after the court dismissed an application by the Bank of Ghana, which was urging the court to set aside a counterclaim by Agyeiwaa, challenging a suit filed against him and 15 other shareholders by the receivers of Capital Bank over their alleged role in the collapse of the bank. In a ruling, the court presided over by Justice George Kumsing held that the application by the central bank seeking to stop the counterclaim by Agyeiwaa had no merit. It is my considered opinion that there is no merit in applicants, that's the Bank of Ghana's application. This application is dismissed for being unmeritorious. This court has jurisdiction to determine the counterclaim, Justice Kumsing ruled. The ruling has therefore paved way for the court to determine both the suit by the defunct bank represented by the receiver, which seeks to recover over 837 million Ghana cedis from the shareholders, and the counterclaim by Agyeiwaa, and challenging the revocation of the bank's operating license by the Bank of Ghana.
Krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so aduasa mmiɛnsa nti owura ato esen ɛyɛ oda
Menini. Ban omo musika o sa bank ni na. So mo wane number.
easy
Nti be na ya.
Eti krataa ne nsɛm a wɔde baayɛ ne deɛ the commercial division of the Accra High Court no ada deɛ ɛwɔ mo ama green light say kitikiti ne nyinaa ɛyɛ founder ɛde ma defunct Capital Bank William Agyeiwaa ka kyerɛ sɛ wɔde amanfoɔ ne ade a ɛsɛ sɛ wɔtua no license a Bank of Ghana ɛde ma no ne deɛ court adesmisi a wɔn kyerɛ sɛ no no nsɛm no ɛbra ɛkɔpie mu court Justice Kumsing wɔ no ɛna kyerɛ sɛ wɔ rule nneɛma ɛwɔ hɔ nom na ɛbra bibia ɛkɔ so no tum sɛ ka no 837 million Ghana cedis na wɔn gye nsɛnti na ɛsɛ sɛ owura Agyeiwaa William upon whom modern ye papa. Ghana fortune. We need to Ghana had it. A man pen and one.
Yet was on the back page of the Daily Graphic. Work starts on Old Tapu Bypass. The sod has been cut for the construction of a bypass to ease traffic on the Old Tapu stretch of the Kumasi Road in the Ashanti region. The project is under the World Bank-funded Ghana Secondary Cities Support Program, GSCP. The GSCP is an initiative of the Government of Ghana under the auspices of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, meant to improve urban management and basic urban services in participating municipal assemblies. The road project, scheduled to be completed in 9 months, will cost nearly 6.4 million Ghana cedis. Works to be undertaken on the 4-kilometer road include the construction of 7 normal culverts, drains, speed humps, pedestrian walkway, bitumen resurfacing, road marks, and street lights. The Old Tafu municipality is one of the 25 municipal assemblies in the country participating in the 5-year GSCP. The municipal chief executive, Mr. Fred Obingowusu, has officially handed the project to the executing firm Goldprint Construction and the consultant Mercers Rokon Engineering, both based in Kumasi. Mr. Owusu said the assembly passed the Urban Performance Assessment for 2019, which made it eligible to receive funding to improve urban mobility. He said very soon, another 2-kilometer bypass linking Pia, Ekrugu, Dabanka, and Sir John will commence, saying the feasibility on the project had been completed.
The back page of the Daily Graphic and some na eba ebepiem on the okopiem ewo Old Tafu ede kopan krono bypass on dia yade a womo ede chese aso abo efom pa wotwitwa nwoma dwumedie ekoso se ne ebeboa na eba ne se traffic ede wo kwa adwuma e wo kwa so rupia ko ba bia na akyɛ saa wotum kɔ so koraa mpem nkɔ so ɛnom ɛna Ministry of Local Government na afei rural development for wɔn de wɔn toma abɔ ani gidigidi and basic urban service for sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na wɔn bɛboa na municipal assemblies no ɛba no sɛ ɛkwan ne adeɛ wɔn pɛ sɛ wɔn yɛ mu na ne nyinaa ebetumi akɔ so kamkama na hwɛ be bosome nkoro ntɛm deɛ wɔn bɛwia ne nyinaa no ɛyɛ 6.4 million Ghana cedis ɛne sika a wɔn de ahyɛm sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ n'adwumadi ebetumi akɔ so kamkamkama na no ɛna the municipal chief executive abankrakye panyin a ɔwɔ hɔ no mu owura Fred Obin Owusu de nsɛm to dwa wɔkyerɛ sɛ bibia ɛbɛkɔ so kamakama sɛnea wɔn ahyehyɛ no na wɔn nso wɔn bɛyɛ oyetie na deɛ ɛsɛ sɛ wɔn yɛ de boa bia wɔn bɛyɛ sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na bibia ebetumi akɔ so kamakama.
Yeah, Twaswa, illegal miners invade Grill Plantation, youth for police military eviction efforts. Some youth have failed an attempt by Operation Vanguard to evict hundreds of illegal miners said to have invaded the plantation of the Ghana Rubber Estates Limited in the Ahanta West municipality. About 800 youths who claim to be doing community mining have entered the vast rubber plantation of the company of Agyeiwaa in the western region to dig for gold. Officials of the company have since raised concern and called for action by the authorities to stop illegal mining, commonly called galamsey, in the plantations. The company alleged that in less than a week, the illegal miners had destroyed about 350 acres of plantation through their activities. However, a joint police military team that went to the site yesterday to evict the illegal miners met fierce resistance, forcing the Operation Vanguard team to retreat and abort the operation.
The back page of the Daily Graphic na ɛna yɛgu so gyina illegal miners wɔn deɛ baabi a na wɔn abɔ awura nene wɔn abɔ awura Ahanta West municipality Ghana Rubber Estate Limited for akakye wɔn deɛ wɔn sɛ wɔn duadua nnua saa na ɛdeɛ wɔn nam kyɛ sɛ poe mantam kura saa man kɛse kwan no kura ebi wɔ hɔ no wɔn duadua nnua no ɛna wɔn de yɛ rubber boats ne ade di ma yɛdeɛ yɛtwitwi nneɛma mu wɔn yɛ de bu nsuo ne ade na no ɛna wɔn bɔ awura hɔ amanfoɔ ani adwuma yɛ no wɔn deɛ wɔn kɔsɛe amanfoɔ de nti wɔn bɔ awura mu na ɛdeɛ sɛ wɔn sɛsɛ nneɛma sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na wɔn de bɛtu sika kɔkɔɔ ɛno nti ɛna wɔn ɛsɛsɛ nneɛma hɔ na nsɛm yi kyerɛ deɛ mmaburu bɛyɛ ahawɔtwe 800 ɛna wɔn kɔkɔ pie mu hɔ nom na wɔn ɛyɛ sɛ adwuma na ɛbɛrɛ a wɔn kɔkɔ pie mu hɔ no nneɛma na wɔn asɛsɛ ne deɛ 350 acres ɛna wɔn asɛ no wɔbɛrɛ a wɔn edi wɔn dwuma na wɔtwe pɛ ntɛm no wɔn asɛ 350 acres nti wo deɛ mɔn bosome na hɛ
kuro ni
mɔn bosome ɛde kuro no wɔn bɛdane ɛde abutu nti we wɔn gu so a ɛbɛrɛ a mpanimfoɔ anasɛ apolisifoɔ ɛkɔ pie mu hɔ no wɔn hwɛ sɛnea nneɛma ɛkɔ hɔ nom na ntwa yie nti ntɛmpa na wɔn gyina so a wɔn etu ho anammɔn sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na biribiara ɛbɛkɔ so kamakama ɛwɔ hɔ no.
Near Kawase Numeku Asoya Sning a Global Sky Security. Global Sky Security say ban CCTV cameras papa and the one antenna will do filthy and I'm watching you be papa nibi and also about security man guard fencing security man papa no don't know about omun any prempo say so we jina ho ma de chi na ade chi na rare na ogusu jina ho Global Sky say we here security services from it was 0302 522503 0302522503. See, I didn't someone a daily graphic. I could go near someone. A dear him, our Ghanaian Times, the Bocratani. Near Shas and the Ghanaian Times, I shall say, our page 3 of the Ghanaian Times for page 3. When can see a pass and that honum 2 quack peddlers busted. And 2 quack peddlers busted. The vigilance of the Volta Regional Directorate of the Food and Drugs Authority has yielded divided as 2 suspects peddling repackaged orthodox medicine as herbal products to patronage by unsuspecting public have been busted. They are Joyce Domi, 45, and James Nakpo, 35, who were arrested at Information Center at Sokode, a suburb of the whole municipality. Mr. Gordon Akrug, Regional Director of FDA, briefing the Ghana News Agency, said the duo were picked up upon tip-off of peddling varieties of unregistered medical products. He said a number of unregistered drugs were seized from them, with which conveyances against Section 118 of the Public Health Act, Act 851, which stipulates that a person shall not manufacture, prepare, import, distribute, or supply or exhibit for sale of a drug, herbal medicine product, cosmetic, or any household chemical substances without approval from the FDA. Mr. Akrugu said one of the drugs had been identified as dexamethasone, which is a corticosteroid used in a wide range of health conditions for its anti-inflammatory and immune suppressant properties, and at the moment used in the management of COVID-19 strictly for patients on ventilators. However, he said the suspects were selling this drug as painkillers, christened locally as Dompe Dompe, to innocent customers, and noted that the drug could trigger serious health complications if consumed by the public without prescription by a medical officer, saying this drug is given at certain conditions which the peddlers lacked.
The Ghanaian Times, the worker at Tano, and I was so at Diamamu. And I shall see what the Ghanaian Times, the worker at Muniabo, a ranifa, a torso me and sano. FDA for food and drugs authority for the Obehu, Drobia Tragu, and I said, Bine Tragu, food for Agyeiwaa to me. Aha, nti bia won so metwa mfo ne dem bia to food for Agyeiwaa to mu aha nti MAT for na agye de atum ne no na FDA for de nsem aba betu dwaye voter original directorate wo mo kire se ukupiem wo makache onum bia amafo na bebre ye enu a info FDA for eni ho nsem a wo mo eto atemamfo so to ana eto Joyce Domi Owonfie aduana enum sanso na James Nyakpo no so ewo infie aduasa enum ene de wo mo akire wo mo ewo Sokode no na ewo home municipality na eno na owura Gordon Ekurugu regional director of FDA ede ensem eto Ghana News Agency for enim na wo kire se sansan no de yade a ensese wo mo esoso sokrempo kirem dia Public Health Act no Act 851 no ensem a wo mu de kire se ansa na eduro bi ebeba bonte wo beye impo wo beton wa oman Ghana na se wo de beko amanoni na se ole mu bi edi ni dwuma no se FDA for etimi eye emu nhwehwemu mu sade we ese efata emphasis so boni bia emre omanfo ansampo na akwa emontene ne sentini owura Akurugu ekire mu se wo hwese enuro ya bomo tonton ya omkire mu kwa se COVID-19 yade etimi eso anu bia enso enya ade a womo aye nhwehwemu bia afa won sentini yade ombefa emra kwa so omkire mu bia eye painkiller de obeti Dompe Dompe what you be said that we see ujonku e de Dompe Dompe aha
So mutwemu
me ka metro nti we no wunya bi na hyese wonom de e pain no awe no na FDA for HM say wo monye dem wo monje ade we entumu e wo baby biada the sent ni enu a wo mo anyi ntumu de wo mo so mu a esese wo mo de wo fa emra kwansa fensi mamufuo no si ye kotodura akanka ne ehyem ukotena ehyem na e de aba esisi yare aduro kokwa aduro empompo
the wema 11 cedi the wema so 1 cedi
ya se mehu minimum ya o ya chese
unyari we 4 pe eni simakra na atiko
se o ba jonso Agyeiwaa we koma no e de kai mu ya manasi a COVID-19 ba ya ye de hihye egu akwanwu na etu atwa kakara
eno kura na kakra bi wo
ye hwe na abribia no se me ye hu no we food for Agyeiwaa to ma na ebu okra chese wo hwe se ne amafo awie kura hwe de hu o se batakare no adoso
ma ye hu kremu papa
se ya hwe ne hu kremu papa na ansa
ne yetwaso ne the editorial our page 4. Let's not lower our guard in the fight against COVID-19. The President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on Sunday ushered the country into the second phase of the fight against the coronavirus disease. As a result, he has eased restrictions covering worshipping in churches, attendance at entertainment sites, transportation, football activities, among others. The lifting of the latest restriction is in addition to those that were earlier lifted in the first phase of the fight against the pandemic. In easing the restrictions, the president acknowledged that the country was gradually moving on the path to defeat COVID-19 and urged all to continue to wear face masks and maintain enhanced hygiene protocols. It's against this backdrop that we encourage all Ghanaians to continue to strictly observe the health protocols in order to keep the disease at bay. It is regrettable that with all the public education and the efforts being made by the majority of Ghanaians to prevent the spread of the disease, many others have just refused to adhere to the safety protocols. We remind Ghanaians once again that there is no vaccine for the disease, and it is the responsibility of each of us to ensure that the disease is contained and possibly defeated.
Osemufo adwempo Ghanaian Times wakata ne fa toso ennan no ebra Ghana mampani na adodanfa ekufu adodan no kwasia de woni ye enye nkitahodie sene abre ene abibia wo ye no obra COVID-19 yare man home so de na nagaga ya na dwonkomo no ha na wo de ehihye so ema yesa na bra kwasia de obetu dwa no wotirem se wagogo nhihyiemu a eba ne se asori a yebetumi akọ na so na nipa dodo a ehye so omokọ no yatum efi nkofo oha empo ye na hyemu ni ade ni nyina no social distancing no eba ne se hyemu di ayede no abawe na emom no ye nose mask no esese ye hyene no eno semufo na de na adwenkyira ba wo kire se etemamufo yagogo nhihyiemu mu na so ye kan hu se ye nkwa ekura yankasa yensem se betumi abo ye ho ban efi COVID-19 yare no anyi obi na ebebo ho ban ma wankasa esese wutumi ebo ho ban tienkoso a na ehihye no ye ni so eba ne se ye max na ye hya afi so yare we yenim se anu aduru ne se ye be hohoro ye nsa ewo nsu a etene ase ye de samra na ye wi abre bia no ye be de ye be sanitize ye nsa e de wo office ya wudura na sanitize wudi bi apepa wapro ne ade nyina ho kama no na osemfo ntese enkoso a na ye ndi ehihye ne se ne be nya yare se ne ye bo ye ho modin ekutia na betumi etu ase kudi efi oman Ghana mu ase.
Near to us for page 4, where Parliament debates on mid-year budget review. Parliament yesterday started debating on the mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy of government presented by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta last Thursday. Participating, the Member of Parliament for the Yape Kushegu constituency, John Abdullah Agyeiwaa, charged Ghanaians to vote out the governing New Patriotic Party at the December polls. The MP said despite claims by the MPP in opposition that they possess the magic wand to manage the economy, their tenure had rather worsened the economic indicators. Mr. Agyeiwaa said the incompetence of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo-led government has been manifested by the coronavirus pandemic. The economy in a state of coma, but there is only one thing we can do as a country, and that is the people of Ghana must reject this incompetent government, which has demonstrated that it has no clue on how to deal with challenges. When we have the energy sector crisis, South Africa had a similar challenge. They grew in the negative, but we grew by 3.6% of GDP, and that is where leadership and innovation comes to play. It is obvious and clear that contrary to the promise we received from the Akufo-Addo government, they have failed, and the failure is unprecedented in the history of Ghana. Come December 7, 2020, the people of Ghana have no choice than to boot these people out of the office so that we, who know how to manage the economy better, will come and manage it better. According to him, despite reporting to the country that the budget deficit for this year was 4.8% of gross domestic product, the actual deficit stood at 7.1%.
Ghanaian Times the Democrat and fa etoso ennan no owura John Jinaponi eda ha se wo ye emrahye bedwani na emrahye bedwani John Jinapori ni nsem a wodi etudwa no de nsem no edosi papa ni nsem ni nyina ne se ba ne se Ghana ye akonwoma sikasem a osofa ohye sikasem so ede eba betudwa owura Ken Ofori-Atta na no ya wada no ensem ne de wono de he wagusu litisa wodwe ho a wonte ase ohese ne aban no etutu yesika no unse enkoye ni sente ebe ya nka Ghana fo afimpinu ene edu December bosom ne de sosonso abato a ebekoso no monsakra aban mu na moma NDC amanyoko no emra emetra abangwa nte se NDC amanyoko no ebetra abangwa ne so de a eyade abomo ebehihye niema yie pa na Ghana yesika sem no etumi akoye se ohwe budget a eba ebe top no so ne dia aban yi senia wotutu yesika sem ne ade no enkoye kura ohwe senia ye GDP ni ade no ohanchemu ni ade a mpo senia amanhuro na bebre no epem ko anim na Ghana de ye niema so ete ne dia yenye sakraye na NDC amanyuku no ema emetra bangwanto no matumi ahyehye enema ye owura John Jenapo ene di nsem ye bepiem ewo the Ghanaian Times ko akrata yi
Near Twasone African News, our page 5. Short Tanzanian presidential hopeful returns home. A prominent Tanzanian opposition figure who survived an attempt on his life in the capital, Dodoma, has returned to the country where he is expected to launch a bid for the presidency. Tundu Lissu had been living in Belgium since he was shot 3 years ago and had undergone more than 20 medical operations. Nobody was convicted for the attempt on his life. While out of the country, Mr. Lissu was stripped of his parliamentary seat. He was met by hundreds of cheering supporters as he left the international airport in the country's main city, Dar es Salaam. Ahead of his return to Tanzania, Mr. Lissu, as well as rights group, asked the government to guarantee his safety in the country. The BBC's Sami Awami in Dar es Salaam says the politician's next step in his bid for top office would be to win the Chadema opposition party nomination for the presidential race. With a big smile on his face, Tundu Lissu walked out of the airport waving at his supporters who went wild with jubilation. He has not been here since he was flown out in September 2017 after he was sprayed with 16 bullets by unknown gunmen.
se papa wa breye papa African News cast any fa etoso enum no Tanzania na wo ye emrahye bidwani ewo ho no mo de bra etututo ekosoro na tirese ebi eka no no Tundu Lissu na ya de sese wo kọ na wo kọje ayarehwe ne no no wo kọ ye emfie miensa emu ni etututo no kọ na wo kọ ekọje ayarehwe 20 medical operations na tirese papa wa yutu se wa breye pa ansa na wate apone oba na chese wo ba be prese franka tumi ewo memho na ye to ne so aba wono so aba be ye mampani na bra wo ekopie mu ewo ye Tundu Lissu bra ekopie mu ewo Tanzania no hwe ahokeka wo manfo de eboje ne so na hwese ne a wo nwenwen chese ono so anije so wo de ebo eje ne manfo so na chese tumi se banta ye to abade a ebekoyie de aman pente ne de wasan akopie ewo honum na bra ewo mtete papa wa bro 16 bullets pound na wo mo de emema no ewo September busumi ne da ewo afimpinu ani du ensun emu
Near Twaso ne foreign news, our page 8. Death toll in India's flood rises to 102 as 5.6 million people affected. Floods in India's northeastern state of Assam have so far killed 102 people and badly affected a population of over 5.6 million, officials said on Monday when the country has been gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Assam State Disease Management Authority, floods have claimed 5 lives and affected 2.4 million people in 23 districts during the past 24 hours. There has been no respite in the flood situation in the state, and per cumulative figures available with us, it has hit 30 districts and affected a population of 5,671,018. The number of human lives that have been lost during the period because of the flood is 108. Floods hit the state on May 22 and there has been no let-up in the situation.
Ghanaian Time the bokrata ne fa etoso watch no enya Ghana hanko an unko bi afoma so nkwa ni okufo kupie mo China wo mo so inso to na trese aye insem bebre de amam India mo ha okupie mo hon ma inso to na aye bebre de amam ne no na wo mo to so mo chim se wo north eastern state wo honum no yade a inso a eto na eyire no ha adwinye wo honum ye papa pom chim dia wo man for 24 million na inso aha wo mpa nipa no atwa nananom ewo ensiedo ewo district ahoro aduonu miensa ewo do hwere aduonu and 24 hours entem no japade ni ade bebre na wo mo hwe sinso enyehuna na ehye ase pe na omanfo bebre na na wo mo yam ehwehwo mo mche se yenso no ehye ase ne de edan ahoro na se fi ahoro 6827 na kire se access no na sanso na wona ewom abreye pa ewo hon 32,570 na kire se wom ho akire wom yie papa ewo bra esue ehye ase efidwum bosom ne da etoso mienu de kopim July bosom ne da etoso du mienu no
Here to us for page 8, where foreign news fighting breaks out across Israeli-Lebanon border. Israel says it has fired on Hezbollah militants who crept into its territory with what Israel's prime minister called serious security incidents. The Israel Defense Forces said up to 4 militants across the border in Mount Dov area, part of Israeli-occupied Syrian Golan Heights. The IDF says the terrorists fled back to Lebanon after being shot at. The area has been tense for days after a Hezbollah fighter was killed in an alleged Israeli airstrike in Syria. Israel, which has neither confirmed nor denied it, carried out the strike in the early hours of last Monday, what had warned Hezbollah not to retaliate. Israeli media, citing unnamed military sources, said the Hezbollah cell was planning to attack an IDF post.
Krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so wɔtwe hɔnom so ɛkɔpem ɛwɔ Israel deɛ nneɛma a ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔnom no tutuo mpo akɔ so wɔ hɔnom a ama obi mpo ato anananom ɛwɔ nseɛ do na ɛno ɛna wɔn kyerɛm sɛ saa nneɛma yi deɛ ɛyɛ ade a wɔn ehwɛ yie papapa wɔhwɛ sɛnea ntɔkwa ɛne ade no ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ Israel ɛne Lebanon border kyɛ sɛ wɔn ahyɛ so deɛ wɔn tumi ko a na etutu so na amanfoɔ no bebree ɛna ɛto anananom wɔ nseɛ do ɛno ɛna wɔn kyerɛ so na wɔn kyerɛm sɛ wɔhwɛ a conflict no ɛhyɛ aseɛ no bebree na ɛna ato anananom wɔ nseɛ do ɛno nipa apem ɛwɔ ha ɛne aduɔkron baako ɛna ato anananom ɛwɔ nseɛ do bebree na ɛyɛ civilians a wɔn wɔ Lebanon akyɛ sɛ ɛntwa yie koraa saa nso ɛna soldiers foɔ mako ɔha ɛne aduonu baako 121 soldiers ɛna afei nso civilians a wɔn wɔ Israel no ɛyɛ aduanan ɛnan 44 civilians in Israel ɛna wɔn ato anananom ɛwɔ nseɛ do.
And Sani Ebefi, page 8 of the daily Ghanaian Times newspaper. Ni Ebefa last story: U.S. enters 100-day countdown in presidential election amid pandemic protest. Sunday marked the beginning of the 100-day countdown to the 2020 U.S. presidential election, while the country is still trapped in the raging coronavirus pandemic and nationwide protests against racial discrimination and police brutality. With the clock ticking towards what may be the most complicated presidential contest in American history, both Democrats and Republicans are rampaging up their push to get the keys to the Oval Office. Nevertheless, as the coronavirus pandemic continues to sweep the nation, protests over racial injustice in several U.S. cities turned violent over the weekend. Sitting president and presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump, 74, didn't mention the milestone directly on Sunday, but lashed out at polls that have showed him failing behind his Democrat opponent, former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden, calling them fake. The Trump campaign has more enthusiasm, according to many, than any campaign in the history of a great country, even more than 2016. He tweeted before claiming that the battleground states, including Pennsylvania and Texas, will not vote for Biden, a 77-year-old moderate political veteran who had recently adopted several progressive policy proposals. Biden, whose campaign is accelerating its staffing and television spending, tweeted 100 days on Sunday. Folks, we have just 100 days until election day. Now more than ever, we have to do everything we can to make Donald Trump a one-term president, he said. In the Real Clear Politics average of national polls, Biden leads Trump 50% to 40.9% as of Sunday. Meanwhile, polls conducted in some key battlegrounds including Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Arizona also show that Biden is ahead of Trump by at least several points.
The Democrat any fa ɛtɔ so wɔtwe ne nsɛm a ɛtɔ so wɔtwe na etwa toɔ ɛwɔ krataa ɛfa ɛtɔ so wɔtwe no ukopiem ɛwɔ US mmɔnten so deɛ nan kwatia de ɛbra COVID-19 yade ama ne homre so amanfoɔ ɛhwɛ sɛ abato ɔkrɛmfo wɔn mo ɛntu bi no wɔn deɛ ɛbɛba so na aka nna ɔha nti wɔn start wɔn countdown the access school for your quackotron so here. Say BC and now was your bet 30 days more. You start to consider this a chat was sorry and pano coaching blackboard in paper. No, I 29 days more to say walk counted down one. Ebeka 3 days more, and I think it will be a share the crata, a chin and on some, and I say US is one more about one more air countdown. And if you're in na or ha, into go not just 99 more. 90 days more 80 days and now one more can at the barber film say about one ever cause no chim says to me near my year papa binum tredia mampany Donald Trump come said was soon be a year said you been so any gym was say or better stand baby at here or who from a month for represents to tell and over war or monchain.
Near twice so our page 10 incidents of violence marrying peaceful registration processes, Opuni Frimpong laments. The Chief Executive Officer of Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa, Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuni Frimpong, has observed that though the Electoral Commission is performing its duties satisfactorily, some incidents of violence being incited by political perpetrators is threatening the peaceful and smooth running of the registration process. The challenge is that the violent conduct of some of the political party agents and that has marred the beauty of the registration processes. We are having complaints about busing of people to register, and that has been a major source of tension and conflict. A preliminary report by the group has cited political actors within political space, perpetrators of violence and tension in ongoing registration exercise through continuous manipulation processes. Compromising about 100 pastors from various denominations, Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa has been credited by the EC to monitor registration processes in 6 regions, including Greater Accra, Eastern, Volta, Bono, Ashanti, and Northern, ahead of final findings at the end of the exercise. Observations made so far revealed growing tensions and violence at centers in the regions. According to Reverend Opuni Frimpong, these happenings largely stem the interference of political actors in the 2 major parties, New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress, in the processes. There is interference of processes by some members of parliament, ministers of state, and party officials. Instead of filing the compliance forms as directed by the EC, they are choosing that they will register, and those who will not, others even go to the extent of blocking entry routes by not allowing people to alight from vehicles and buses because they have been bussed by others.
Ghanaian Times, the Bokrata, and if I so edunu Opuni Frimpong what the insem atuja Chief Executive Officer Edma Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuni Frimpong and our the insem to ya watch resa about to come sam e de nhihye gu akwam say yanko ne yanko chiro yi bi nse ne beye na afimpinu ene adunu abato no December busumi di obia ebetimi akwakoto bisi wanya mfie du wotwe a watwin bibia eda hono fa ne no na bread ntrotro no kosi ne yehwa basa ye na bebre de ntokwa party agent we ya ye say shen we de nkofo ba betruthru mudi abribia na entokwa impo wa ye kase so kra ye ka ye bitu dwa say emranti menu bi kwa akwaje wo mo card no de wo bi ansho magufo mu ya nte wo masesa card a moto so paba mo de sen eno na Reverend Dr. Opuni Frimpong HM says anema we ntwa yie kura ne senti esese etumi de ye nan pa esifam ye de emra eto bebia esese edante sa December bato no temi entokwa ebekoso no emmo akra so nka bato de wo man Ghana de asumdue eman nti enkoso na asumdue no yenkoso endi so na yenya basa ye ne ade na eya ekoso ewo yen abato akache
Near Twaso Ewo page 10, while Rawlings condemns lynching of 90-year-old woman, former President Jerry John Rawlings has called for a thorough investigation and arrest for all who were involved in the cruel and barbaric lynching of a 90-year-old woman accused of being a witch in Kafaba, near Salaga. The police and other investigative agencies, as well as the Attorney General's Department, must ensure that this matter is thoroughly investigated and appropriate charges and prosecution brought against the perpetrators to serve as a deterrent. A statement issued by his office yesterday said he was appalled by the violence meted out on frail Agyeiwaa, who was accused in an uncivilized manner of being a witch by a fetish priestess and subjected to beating on Thursday, July 23. We are in 2020, and such brutal abuse, especially of women, should not be countenanced in Ghana, since we rose up in unison when George Floyd cruelly lost his life in the United States, and we cannot look on and allow something more callous to happen in Ghana.
Krataa ni fa etosu duna na yekusu ewo no na former president Rawlings Ghana mampani dida Jerry John Rawlings ni phone yeda na mese ne ama waje sei na tesu tum sensem no ha ne pa wo hwese ne waje ni na tad fufuo na ni twinwi ni na boy na yefuo no waje sei a utum se waye ward pa wotre dia enema sa no esese o man Ghana ha sei ye so ewo ha se wase ye nyina ye wo o man Ghana ha sei na George Floyd amanfo eburo no atese womo eje ne nkwa efiri ni nsem US montene so tania na wombi omkotodwe abrante ne kotodwe esi George Floyd mirim na wote so womo entia no eba sa Ghana fo ye kasa hu twabobo mu twabobo obi aka bi efa me ka me kiro na si yetena wo manyi mu na yenya unse sensem we ebeto do obi sa den sem beto montra ka say Ghana ha se no yankasa se yando ye hu a yando ye hu a ye ko ba bi enya de a wo bi ebedo yen ha onuado e de onuado na ye onuado na ye ti Ghana yando dodo ye hu se wo hu se maami a wodi mfie ediokono wutumi eye ni se yenya de a etwa yie kura ni nyina se wodere na nka obekum anka wa de se kakuruntu a wahye ase ewie nti wo hwe former president Rawlings se ne nifo ni da na wo hwe nsem na wotum se neni abre so pa wo se nsem we de nse se ye so kura se wom a wom ye san wutumi de wom fa emra kwan so na ye hwe wom aso papa eba ni se hu nti na niema bi sei etumi koso ewo man Ghana ma say ye hwe ho asem kapa ne mfa se ne obi a ka ho asem se niema we nye nti esempeni for se ne omo ka no police for akatkrom bi ska bi ato ho no mo se manfo mo a 2000 Ghana cedis mo boa na wo nya hu wo ma wom de obefa emra kwan so se ne se pepepe.
Yeah, so our page 12, President begins 3-day working visit to the 3 northern regions. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo yesterday commenced a 3-day working visit of the northern, northeast, and savannah regions of the country. As part of the visit, the president would inspect progress of works on ongoing developmental projects and commissioning others. A statement signed and issued by the Deputy Minister of Information, Pius Enam Hajide, in Accra yesterday said the president would also break ground for commencement of new projects and engage and interact with chiefs and people of the various communities. During President Akufo-Addo's tour of the Savannah region, he would pay a courtesy call on the Kwasurugu Paramount Chief of the Kwasurugu Traditional Area in the Central Gonja District. He would commission the Yape Water Project in the Yape Kusubu constituency to mark day 1 of the tour in the Savannah region. Today, the president will tour the northeast and northern regions, where he will call on the overlord of the Mampurugu Traditional Area, Nayiri Nabogugu Mahama Abdullahi Sheriga, and commission the Naregu Water Project. He would also cut sword for work to begin on an ultramodern regional office for the Youth Employment Agency in Naregu in the northeast region. President Akufo-Addo will call on the Dagbon King, Yana Mahama Abukari II, in Yendi tomorrow, which was the final day of the tour. He would break the ground for the construction of the Yendi Water Project and head to Damango in the Savannah region to be a guest of the Yagbonwura Tumpumba Bore Issa I and cut the sword for the commencement of the Damango Water Project.
Ye krataa no Ghanaian Times ne fa etosu dumienu no Ghana mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo anya do show boy mfoni eda hase na hase ne onwenwe na kise niema ekoyi pa eti Ghana mampani Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne na miensa watu edi esi ose wode ko aprobo ewo northern mantemu miensa no eno ye northern northeast na afin so savannah mantema ewo oman Ghana mu hase wo ko aprobo ewo akwakohwe senia enyuma ekwo no eba ne se mpuntu nyuma ne eniema hodo bi a wodi gugu akwam edi amom no ne no na osofo abedi ekira wo hwe en amanebo ensem so Pius enam hagide ebra wode ne nsɛm etu dwa no ɛwɔ nkran ɛyɛ nrada no wode nsɛm etu dwa no wɔkyerɛ sɛ mampani ɛbɛkɔ akɔpiem wɔ hɔ no kɔpiem wɔ no ma ɔne ahemfo a ɛwɔ hɔ no nso ebenya nkitahodie na wɔn atoto nneɛma yɛ sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ na bibia ɛbɛkɔ so tɔte nso hu nsɛm a yɛkan no wɔde ɛno nso etu dwa mampani wɔtwitwa nwoma mu ne ade ɛde asɔ abɔ fam sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ na bibia ebetumi akɔ so yie wɔ hɔ no mo kama.
Near Twaso, our page 13, Friday declared statutory public holiday. The Ministry of Interior has declared Friday, July 31, as a statutory public holiday to mark the celebration of Eid al-Adha. A statement signed by Mr. Ambrose Derry, the Sector Minister, and copied to Ghanaian Times, urged the public to observe the day as such throughout the country. It called on all to observe the safety protocols associated with the COVID-19, especially in relation to special and social events at public places. Meanwhile, a statement by the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Usman Nuhu Shaributu, has urged Muslims to celebrate the Eid al-Adha at home, just as they did during the Eid al-Fitr, to help contain the COVID-19 spread. The festival is to commemorate the willingness of Ibrahim, who obeyed Allah's command to sacrifice his son.
Yento ase okrata ni fa etoso dumiensa dia nyame adoma wiebe efiada ebe Ministry of the Interior ede nsema to ya what say sada ne de sada no holiday papa bi aha ntino sani amafo de adro wo mo budget no ye se bebe mu sada ya se mi hwefi amafo adro budget edi ama efiada ntia no sem no bia ba beti ja se sada de efiada July bosom ne da etoso edi asamiensa chese di July bosom ne ekwa akugu na asankwa ye holiday asankwa ye Friday night ne de chese o ti se enije ebe wo krum papa ne no na chese om de nsem tu Ghana sa statement no ne a was fine wo de ne sa itinti mase owura Ambrose onom na oye sector minister wo de odi bi ema Ghanaian Times ayeso yeti hu de achro ne no na om de nsem tu yo mo chese COVID-19 hyehyɛ ne de nye se anije ntin na kyerɛ sɛ mutwi de afa so na mmom no nhyehyɛ ne de sɛ obi biara edi so sɛ ne bɛboa na yɛtumi akɔ etia COVID-19 yare no. National Chief Imam Sheikh Dr. Usman Nuhu Shaributu enso de nsɛm to dwa wo hye Muslimifo nyina sɛ nea omudi Eid al-Adha no saa ene sɛ wo mo bɔ mo modern na wo mo yɛ te sɛ de wo mo yɛ no obra na yɛ Eid al-Fitr no na wo mo tumi ɛsɔ COVID-19 yare no anunti abribia wo mo ngofie na wo mo enjo mani na bibia ntumi enkosie na saa afahye we wo mo de kai Abraham ebra wo no so wo de ne ba akɔbɔ afɔre no wo mo di saa afahye we dia na twese wo mo de kai Eja Abraham nti wo mo de kai no ko Sunday school dia nyaka Eja Abraham antwese wa wanya line so what I say.
The Twaso our page 13 for COVID-19, Ghana's active case count drops from 3,349 to 3,307. Confirmed case hits over 32,000. Ghana's COVID-19 active case count has seen a reduction from 3,349 to 3,307, an update by the Ghana Health Service has indicated. However, figures provided on the website of the Ghana Health Service has shown that the country's confirmed case of COVID-19 has risen to 32,969 from the 32,437 reported by the Ghana Health Service earlier on. According to the Ghana Health Service, the 32,969 recorded cases were from 19,650 enhanced contact tracing and 12,787 routine surveillance out of the 582 were new. The new cases, according to the Ghana Health Service, were samples such were taken between June 29 and July 22, 2020. Also, the number of recovered and discharged cases had reached 29,494, while 532 people have been infected with the disease, were in critical condition, with 5 others on ventilators. The death count was currently 168, the Ghana Health Service update stated.
Yɛntoa so ɛwɔ the Ghanaian Times wakrata ne fa ɛtɔ du miɛnsa de a Dr. Patrick Kuma aboagye ne nsɛm a wɔde etumi asɛ Ghana COVID-19 cases no de so wate paa yɛhwɛ active cases na ɛyɛ mpem miɛnsa ahasa ne aduanan nkron nanso ɛso ate aba beduru mpem miɛnsa ahasa ne nson akyerɛ sɛ ɛnigye paa yɛhwɛ ibi breakdown no kura mpa a wɔn de ebepiem ɛwɔ nkrataa mu ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ sɛnea yɛbɔ yɛn ho ban de afi yare no deɛ yɛnkɔ so a na yɛntumi ɛfɛ nkontia COVID-19 yare.
Well, page 13, while Muslim leadership condemns lynching of woman 90. The Ghanaian Muslim leadership has condemned the alleged lynching of a 90-year-old woman accused as a witch at Kafaba, a town in the East Gonja municipality of the Savannah region. According to them, such an act was barbaric and must not be tolerated. A statement signed by the Director of Youth Development and Interfaith Program Office of the National Chief Imam and copied to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday said, Islam condemns vigilantism and mob justice at all fronts and encourages and demands citizens to adhere to the established rules of the law. The statement also expressed worry and concern over the rise and upsurge of mob attacks and vigilantism in Ghana. According to the statement, this could be recipe for violence and instability in a political tensed environment, which will amount to total human insecurity and backwardness in communities and the country at large. It is under these guidance and principles that the Ghanaian Muslim leadership calls on the government, traditional authorities, and civil society organizations to demand and apply justice for the alleged 90-year-old who was lynched in broad daylight. The Office of the National Chief Imam therefore called on all stakeholders to discourage and condemn the unfortunate development of insults and provocations on the integrity of the National Peace Council and its members, religious and traditional leaders. The ONCI wishes to remind the citizens, especially the political parties, that the religious and traditional leadership and leaders and institutions such as the National Peace Council remain today the only source of hope, inspiration, and if not all, when issues of national and nature gets out of hand, they are to be blamed.
Krataa ne fa ɛtɔ du miɛnsa no aseɛ hɔnom a nsɛm na ɛwɔ hɔnom deɛ nkyɛ sɛ Muslimfoɔ no wɔn mpanimfoɔ no wɔn nso wɔn asɔre ɛrekasa sɛ maame abɛsiriwa a wɔnya mfie aduokron amanfoɔ esibiri mu yie pam a ne toa nananom ɛwɔ nseɛ do na ɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛsoso so yie kora sɛnea former president Mampanin Dida John Jerry Rawlings ɛba ɛbɛka ho nsɛm saa ɛna Muslim mpanimfoɔ nso asɔre a wɔn kyerɛ sɛ yɛtena ɔman mu a nneɛma bi sɛ ɛkɔ so deɛ a ntwa yɛ kura National Peace Council wɔn nyinaa wɔn hwɛ sɛ yɛbɛtumi de mmara ato baabi ɛsɛ sɛ ɛda.
Here, head the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Agyeiwaa West MP presents items to constituency. The Minister of Communications and Member of Parliament for Agyeiwaa West constituency, Mrs. Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, has presented medical equipment to the Dansoman Polyclinic and personal protective equipment to 4 senior high schools in the constituency. At the Dansoman Polyclinic, Mrs. Owusu-Ekufo donated examination and headlights for theatre purposes, pulse oximeter, a printer, and other office stationery, including chair, notebook, and pens to management of the clinic. Receiving the equipment, Dr. Felicia Anderson, the doctor in charge of the Dansoman Polyclinic, on behalf of the management, expressed their appreciation and called for the support of government in completing their extended health facility. For each of the 4 schools, the Communications Minister donated a number of hand sanitizers and face masks to all final year students in addition to sanitary towels for female students. The schools visited were St. Margaret Mary's High Technical School, His Majesty Senior High School, 7 Great Princes Academy, and the Ebenezer Senior High School. Mrs. Owusu-Ekufo encouraged final year students to give off their best despite the era of the coronavirus pandemic and excel in their West African Secondary Senior Certificate examination, indicating that with the training they have received in their various schools, she was optimistic they would pass.
Yɛhwɛ the back page of the Ghanaian Times the Krataa Minister of Communications a wɔsan ɛyɛ mmarahyɛ bedwani de ma Agyeiwaa West constituency Mrs. Ursula Owusu-Ekufo wɔsan so ɛyɛ nkɔsoɔ ahema ɛwɔ meakasa me kurom wɔde ne deɛ COVID-19 bere mu wɔsɛ wɔntena hɔ nhwɛ saa kwa the sense ne mpɛsoa so hɔ no kopiem ɛwɔ Dansoman Polyclinic maame owusu ekufo ade a wakɔkɔyɛ wɔn adɔyɛ pam ɛno na ɛba nte headlight a wɔn edidi dwuma ɛwɔ theatre afei so post oximeter ne ade a printing chest ne ade nyinaa wɔde bi akɔmɔm sɛ na ɛbɛboa na wɔn dwumadie nyinaa yɛbɛtumi akɔ so trɔte ɛwɔ hɔ nom ɛno no Dr. Felicia Anderson ɛna wɔkye nneɛma ɛwɔ polyclinic no anan na afei so ɛwɔ danas ɛwɔ adɔyɛ a ɛnte dɛ wɔama no anso hɔ nom asan so ana schools nnan a ɛwɔ kyɛ sɛ ne mpɔtam hɔ nom no maame edi adɔyɛ ɛkɔ mɔm hand sanitizers afei so face mask sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ no bɛbɔ ho ban de fi COVID-19 tiare no saa so na ɛma no sanitary towels a ɛwɔ mo de ebesisi ɔmo kamakama na ne nyinam no schools a wɔkɔ ɛkɔsra wɔn ɛyɛ St. Margaret Mary Senior High Technical School afei so His Majesty Senior High School ɛna 7 Ebenezer 7 Great Princess Academy ɛna afei so Ebenezer Senior High School ɛna wɔkɔ ɛkɔyɛ adɔyɛ Mrs. Owusu Ekufo ɛsan so ɛhyɛ asuafo sɛ wɔn mɔm ho mmɔden paa na wɔn nsuadeɛ yie ɛmfa ho ɛne coronavirus nimdeɛ biara a yɛde amom na wɔn mmɔden asɛ nsɔhwɛ na ɛbɛtɔ wɔn anim a wɔn ntwerɛ ne nyinaa ɛmfa ngu hɔ sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Examination wase no nkunimdie ɛbɛkɔ ɛde ama wɔn.
Ne yɛde nsɛm a ɛwɔ Ghanaian Times no akɔgu ne yɛkɔ akɔgye aboafo nkratoɔ yɛba pɛ a yɛde nsɛm a ɛde ehim ɛwɔ Daily Guide newspaper no mu ɛnso bɛtoa ho.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence.
All right, my name is Nesta Lenas. I'm the general manager of the company Global Sky Security Limited. Global Sky Security Limited, we are an international security company which we specialize in providing security services to various individuals or corporate organizations. When we talk of security systems, namely CCTV, access control device, electrical fence, tracking device, and security man guard officers as well.
The control room is designed in the way that we have radios, a VCR radio there, which monitors our vehicles when they go out for day and night patrols, just to receive first-hand information from supervisors and the team who go out for that patrol.
With the ICT part of the services that we're going to talk about, the CCTV security systems, the access control systems, tracking device systems, biometric door lock systems, and many more. So when we talk about the ICT part, that is the ICT part of the company. We specialize in what I've mentioned earlier. And when you talk about the physical aspect, that has to do with the professional man guard security services. These are professional guys who recruit. We do background check on them. We do profiling on them. We actually train them on two things, theory part and the physical part. Theory part for them to know how to work with people, human relations, and also when it comes to the physical part, how to defend themselves in terms of a robbery or an attack. So, long story short, basically those are the two things that the company provides.
For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
Sign Emma Makwaba Biom, a newspaper review segment or morning break and a morning busua motion. Yet in somewhat a PM or Ghanaian Times, any daily graphic and na akubu. Here somewhat idea him, our daily guide newspaper and say daily guide and social share stories no every front page into here shall say 4 million euros Airbus scandal, Mahama brother snaps Amidu. It has emerged that Samuel Adams Foster, aka Samuel Adams Mahama, brother of former President John Dramani Mahama, who was expected in the country yesterday to face the office of the special prosecutor headed by Martin ABK Amidu in the raging 4 billion euros Airbus SE scandal, could not make the trip. The special prosecutor had reportedly sent a ticket through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Adams Mahama to voluntarily join the stranded Ghanaians who were returning home yesterday on a chartered flight by government, but he was not on board. It is still unclear why Adams Mahama, who is being sought alongside 3 other foreigners through an international police organization, Red Notice, could not honor the invitation, but Daily Guide is reliably informed that the ticket, which was bought by Mr. Amidu's office, was delivered to the landing home of the suspect on Saturday. Information gathered indicated that the stranded Ghanaians went through Amsterdam, Holland, en route to Accra, but Adam Mahama was reportedly not part of the group that touched down at the Kotoka International Airport.
Yɛnhyɛ aseɛ wɔ Daily Guide kuruwa krataa no. Wɔn hyɛ aseɛ wɔ front page na wɔn to a nsɛm no so wɔ krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa. Na wohwɛ kyerɛ sɛ ne ti asɛm no bi a 4 million euro Airbus scandal Mahama brothers snobs Amidu. Snobs o Amidu. Na kyerɛ sɛ nnura mpo de wɔn krataa no. Sɛnea yɛde emu mpɛsɛmpɛsɛ mu ɛto dwa de to dwa sɛ wokɔpiem wɔ kyerɛ sɛ asoɛ hɔnom deɛ wɔn de nhyehyɛe egu akwa mu a wɔn kyerɛ sɛ red light ni nti ɛho behia sɛ Mahama ne nua wɔ ba bepiem wɔ ɔman Ghana sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na nhwehwɛmu bi a ɛsɛ sɛ wɔn yɛ no bɛkɔ so ne sɛ nti na nkrataa no na efi special prosecutor na kakye na afei Ministry of Foreign Affairs wɔn de ɛkɔkɔ ma Adam Mahama sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na Airbus scandal nsɛnsɛn wɔn betumi ayɛ mu nhwɛmu ti na ɛsɛ wɔde ne ho ɛdɔm ɛyɛ stranded Ghanaians na wɔn tumi ɛba ɛbepiem na ne nyinaa no sɛ ɛbere a wɔn ɛba bepie mu no ɛnya ade a wɔyɛ n'adwumpo sɛ wɔbɛba nanso nhwɛmu kyerɛ sɛ yɛade a nkrataa no deɛ ɛkɔpie mu wɔ n'akakye nanso no ɛnya ade a ɔba ɛbepie mu ɔman Ghana.
Here to also our page 3 where Attorney General opposes Domlevo leave injunction. The Attorney General's department has opposed an application by Professor Kweku Asare seeking to put injunction on President Akufo-Addo's directive on Auditor General Daniel Domlevo to proceed on his 167 days accumulated leave. In his affidavit in opposition, the AG's department contended that the application for interlocutory injunction filed by Professor Asare did not demonstrate how the relief sought by him in a substantive suit against the order for Mr. Domlevo to proceed on leave would be affected or rendered nugatory in the injunction was not gained and granted.
Krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa no owura Domlevo sɛnea ne nsɛm no Attorney General wɔn ɛka ho nsɛm sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na bibia ebetumi akɔ akɔtoto din ne leave injunction ɛbra ɛkɔpiem ɛwɔ Attorney General na kakye no wɔn egu so a edi ho edwuma nanso no ɛkɔba ne sɛ leave injunction no deɛ Attorney General ayɛ a oppose ɛyɛ Domlevo ne leave injunction.
Near Twasu page 4, the editorial, Desperation's New Heights. We join other Ghanaians in wondering whether our vibrative utterances from Sami Gyimfi in recent times were authorized by the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress or even leaders of the party, if the latter have become dormant anyway. Not hearing the flag bearer distancing himself from the threats to the military and police the way his boy did add to the befuddlement. The golden knot was unknotted a few days ago when Elvis Afriye Ankara of Brazil Infani joined the fray as he endorsed the reprehensible words of Sami Gyimfi. He spoke about the olive green uniform, although not directing men auctioning the color of the fatigue as belonging to the state. It was as if Ghanaians do not know that soldiers and corps are serving the state, their uniforms provided from taxpayers' contribution. Both Elvis and Sami have maintained a sustained fire on the Ghana Armed Forces and police, with their fire control orders, of course, coming from the former president's command desk. Now that the conclusion is that both are doing the flag bearer's bidding, we can state that the objective of the NDC is to have the military and police politicized. Elvis had no moral rights to warn soldiers and police officers to stop his thugs from behaving as though there is no law in the country. Those at the helm are even charitable. Otherwise, this guy should have been languishing in jail by now after he was caught pants down in the Brazil 2014 scandal but left off the hook by his own people. As regards Sammy Gyamfi, his boyish exuberance is born out of excitement about his office. When maturity dawns on him, he would regret the imbecility he continues to spew on political plane, even as NDC's elders watch as though they are under a spell, unable to call him to.
Osamufoɔ no adwenkyerɛ wɔ daily guide wɔkrata nifa a ɛtɔ so nnan no na wɔsamufoɔ no kyerɛ deɛ yi nyinaa yɛwɔ Ghana ha sɛ nneɛma bi wɔ hɔnom a owura Sammy Gyamfi ɛde ɛba bɛto dwa a NDC amanyɔkuo no wɔ de ɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔn ba no kyerɛ deɛ ɔno deɛ wɔn soso so kora na mpo no Ora Elvis nkasande kurempo nkasisi sɛ wɔtwerɛ aban kukum gidigidi ɛna Brazil nsensɛm yɛ ɛkɔɔ ɛwɔ afimpino ɛne edunan no nti sɛ yɛgya no na sɛ wɔnenam hɔnom kora wɔnhwɛ yie ɛna wankeka nsɛm bi sɛ na owura Sammy Gyamfi nso ne nneɛma na wɔyɛ na yɛayɛ nkwala nneɛma ɔsɛmufoɔ ne nsɛm na wɔkeka no nti na wɔnhwɛ yie pa na wɔnya sɛ biribi a na wɔn ɛyɛ no amanyɔsɛm no na wɔn hwɛ nsɛm ɛnka no sɛnea ɛteɛ pɛpɛɛpɛ.
Near Twasoni World News, our page 5. Key Trump advisor tests positive for COVID-19. U.S. President Donald Trump's national security advisor has tested positive for COVID-19. The White House confirmed that Robert O'Brien had mild symptoms of the virus, making him the high-ranking officer to test positive so far. Mr. O'Brien has been self-isolating and working from a secure location off-site, the White House said. There is no risk of exposure to the president or the vice president. The work of the National Security Council continued uninterrupted. Bloomberg News reports said that Mr. O'Brien, who has been Mr. Trump's national security advisor for less than a year, came down with the virus after a family event. Previously, a personnel valet to Mr. Trump and the vice president's press secretary Katie Miller tested positive for the virus. Senior White House staff and anyone who comes into close contact with the president are tested for the virus every day. U.S. infections rate of coronavirus had been climbing since mid-June with more than 4 million confirmed cases in the country.
Yensa ehwe krata enifa etoso no World News esoko piem a ewo US monten so US man panin Donald Trump eba ne say the national security advisor and the bambon some of their tunifo ewo ho a wateste positive e the ama COVID-19 yare ne no won some no mutum say COVID-19 yare de senior White House staff na yare adubina e na enya COVID-19 yare bia ewo mo test positive no hwese ne yare ekɔ ne dia wo mo so wo mo ɛyɛ nhyehyɛ wo betumi de akwati agie papa.
Near Twaso our page 6. I miss church. Nana. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on Sunday in the national broadcast admitted how he misses church. I have sorely missed going to church, he said in his 14th national address since the COVID-19 pandemic started in March, adding that other Ghanaians from the various faiths too do miss the congregational prayer sessions of spiritual facilities as a result of the restriction on the number of persons who can enter churches and mosques. For Christians and Muslims, the president announced that in consultation with health experts and religious leaders, he has lifted the restriction on church and mosque going, as well as operations of open drinking bars. The president commended religious leaders for ensuring compliance and adherence to the safety protocols for the past 7 weeks since church and mosques were open partially with 25% occupancy or up to 100 congregants over time duration up to 1 hour per service. That, according to him, prevented any outbreaks since they restarted their services.
The Obokrata any fa etoso insiana hanches the daily guidance semno yeboni pono Ghana mampeni na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo what in summer to your watches mumwafe asori ye papa na na kwesi ade bra won ye enya kita hudi no yi hihye na bi egu akwam agugum se ne beboa na chese ye betimi akwa akosom no som no na ye som no 1 aye don hre back na so ne watum aye no don hre mienu e de aman se nyina ye betimi akoye som bia ahoro na akwa akosom abuosi eyi nyame aye de obonkrata na empensempensemu no ye de akogu na menkenkan messages kakra aba We if Chris Akins was well done MHTV. Keep up the good work. Sanso ena else watching live from Accra day. We if Kwesi Agyeiwaa. Osi great work done. Aba Agyeiwaa and Ama Akosomo. Ohema Adepa Agyeman. Osi please don't get it on my decoder. I wunya wo decoder so we abel for entertainment video so Facebook MATV. YouTube nso Marveling House Limited. Your bonus ade ma wa be for entertainment video so don't free be a minute bi entem no wutumi ekọ honom pa na wakọ akọhwese ne eniema ekọ ewo honom mu. Li echi ewa be for entertainment video so www.marvelinghouse.com.
Sene abadini na akuguni na udi echi we entertainment video ne so na ne social media platforms na so ne ka wo se nyumeku aso ya sen and Global Sky Security and Leonard Homes. Edi ame just one ama Akosomo na ne de minimini aba ahofedua.
Aba Agyeiwaa Kodi.
And the news super review segment ewo MHTV Brel Accra. Yebe sam review.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence.
All right, my name is Nesta Lenas. I'm the general manager of the company Global Sky Security Limited. Global Sky Security Limited, we are an international security company which we specialize in providing security services to various individuals or corporate organizations. When we talk of security systems, namely CCTV, access control device, electrical fence, tracking device, and security man guard officers as well.
The control room is designed in such a way that we have radios, a VCR radio there, which monitors our vehicles when they go out for day and night patrols, just to receive first-hand information from supervisors and the team who go out for that patrol.
With the ICT part of the services, that we're going to talk about the CCTV security systems, the access control systems, tracking device systems, biometric door lock systems, and many more. So when we talk about the ICT part, that is the ICT part of the company. We specialize in what I've mentioned earlier. And when you talk about the physical aspect, that has to do with the professional man guard security services. These are professional guards we recruit. We do background check on them. We do profiling on them. We actually train them on two things, theory part and the physical part. Theory part for them to know how to work with people, human relations, and also when it comes to the physical part, how to defend themselves in terms of a robbery or an attack. So long story short, basically those are the two things that the company provides.
For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.